word explorers, and a very cheerful welcome back to another episode of Idiom Insights. I'm Emma, and I'm thrilled to be embarking on another journey with you through the intriguing landscape of English expressions. It's truly great to have your company.
And a massive hello from me too. It's Jack, your co-host and partner in linguistic crime, ready to unravel some more idiomatic mysteries with a smile. We are so pleased you've decided to join us today for another dose of language learning fun here on Idiom Insights.
Today, we've got 4 really common and useful idioms lined up. These are phrases you'll definitely hear in everyday chats, helping you understand native speakers better and maybe even sound a bit more like one yourself. Understanding idioms adds so much richness to the language.
Absolutely. So, get ready to tune in those brilliant brains. On this episode of Idiom Insights, we're going to shine a light on these expressions. First, for times of uncertainty, your guess is as good as mine. A diplomatic way to say, I don't know. Next, an invitation into someone's thoughts. A penny for your thoughts. What a bargain. Then, the feeling of starting over. Back to square one. Let's hope we don't end up there with this episode. And finally, an idiom about overworking. Burning the candle at both ends. Sounds exhausting.
A fantastic mix, Jack, covering ignorance, curiosity, setbacks, and exhaustion. Before we figure out why your guess might be as good as mine, just a swift and friendly reminder from us here at Idiom Insights. If you enjoy learning with us and want to make sure you catch every episode, please consider hitting that subscribe or follow button. It takes just a second.
Yes, please do. And we always appreciate a like or a positive rating. It really does help boost the podcast and allows more amazing English learners like you to find us. Okay, pleasantries complete. Emma, shall we begin with the mystery of mutual ignorance?
Let's! Our first idiom today is, your guess is as good as mine. This is a very common way to respond when you don't know the answer to something. Jack, can you elaborate on why we might say this?
Certainly. Your guess is as good as mine simply means, I don't know any more about this than you do. You're admitting that you have no special knowledge or information about the situation, so any guess the other person makes is just as likely to be right or wrong as any guess you could make. It puts you both on an equal footing of ignorance regarding the topic.
That's a perfect way to put it. An equal footing of ignorance. For instance, if your friend asks you, what time do you think the bus will finally arrive? It's already 20 minutes late. Component placement, and you have no timetable or inside information, you would likely shrug and say, your guess is as good as mine. You both simply have to wait and see.
Precisely. Or imagine colleagues are speculating about why the boss called a sudden, unexpected meeting. Someone asks you, do you think it's about the new project, or is it bad news? If you genuinely have no clue, you'd respond, honestly? Your guess is as good as mine. You're stating you have no more information than they do.
It's a straightforward way to admit you don't know the answer without just saying, I don't know. Now, let's listen to Mia and Mark. What puzzling situation are they speculating about where neither has the answer?
Mark, isn't this strange? We walked past Giovanni's cafe this morning and it was completely shut. Lights off, chairs stacked inside, a closed sign on the door, but no explanation at all.
Oh, really? Giovanni's? That is odd. They're usually bustling by 8 a.m. They've been open every single day, serving coffee and pastries for as long as I can remember living here. Must be over 10 years.
Exactly. It's a neighborhood institution. Do you think maybe they've finally gone on holiday? But wouldn't they put a sign up saying when they'll be back? It seems very sudden and mysterious.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? A holiday notice seems standard practice. Maybe there was some kind of emergency, or perhaps they decided to retire very suddenly. Old Mr. Giovanni looked quite tired last time I saw him.
Retirement? Maybe. Or perhaps they're doing unexpected renovations. But again, you'd expect some kind of note explaining it. It's very puzzling. Why do you think they've closed so abruptly, Mark? What's your theory?
Honestly, Mia, I have absolutely no idea. Emergency, holiday, retirement, renovations? It could be anything or nothing. Your guess is as good as mine. We'll just have to wait and see if they reopen or if some information appears later.
That's a classic scenario for this idiom. Mia and Mark are faced with a minor mystery, the sudden closure of a familiar cafe. They speculate on various possibilities, holiday, retirement, emergency, but neither has any real information.
Exactly. So when Mia directly asks Mark for his theory, his response, your guess is as good as mine, perfectly signifies that he has no more insight than she does. They are both equally in the dark. So, listeners, when was the last time you had to use your guess is as good as mine? What mysterious situations have left you equally clueless? Share your stories in the comments for Idiom Insights.
Let's move from not knowing to wanting to know what someone else is thinking. Our second idiom is the gentle invitation, a penny for your thoughts. Jack, why would we offer money, even a tiny amount, for someone's thoughts?
Haha, it's a charming expression, isn't it? A penny for your thoughts is a friendly and kind way to ask someone what they are thinking about, especially when they appear quiet, preoccupied, thoughtful, or perhaps a little sad or worried, and they haven't been speaking for a while. You notice their quietness and gently invite them to share what's on their mind. The penny is just a figurative, small token offered for access to their inner world.
That's a lovely way to phrase it. Access to their inner world. For example, if you're sitting with a friend who is just staring silently out of the window with a distant look on their face, you might gently touch their arm and say, "A penny for your thoughts? You seem miles away." It's a soft prompt for them to open up if they wish to.
Precisely. Or imagine you're at dinner with your partner and they are unusually quiet, just pushing their food around the plate and looking thoughtful. You might lean in and ask kindly, "A penny for your thoughts? Is everything okay?" It shows you've noticed their mood and you care about what they might be contemplating.
It's definitely about showing care and gentle curiosity. Now, let's hear Mia and Mark again. It seems one of them has noticed the other looking particularly pensive.
Mia, you've been very quiet for the last 10 minutes or so. You're just staring into your coffee cup as if it holds the secrets of the universe. Is everything all right?
Oh, sorry, Mark. Was I being quiet? I guess I was just lost in thought. My mind wandered off somewhere. It's nothing really important, just mulling things over.
Mulling things over? Like what? You have that little crease between your eyebrows that usually appears when you're thinking hard about something or maybe worrying a little. Come on, a penny for your thoughts?
You know me too well. Noticing the eyebrow crease? Okay, well, if you must know. I was thinking about that conversation I had with my boss yesterday, about the possibility of taking on that new project leadership role.
Ah, the leadership role. That's a big step. Are you having second thoughts about wanting it, or just thinking through the practicalities?
A bit of both, honestly. It's exciting. The potential is huge, but it also feels like a massive responsibility. I was just mentally listing all the pros and cons, trying to figure out if I'm truly ready for that level of pressure and workload right now. Hence the silence and the eyebrow crease. Thanks for asking, though.
Of course. It helps to talk these things through sometimes, doesn't it? Well, let's list those pros and cons out loud together then.
That worked perfectly. Mark noticed Mia was unusually quiet and looking thoughtful, staring into her coffee cup, eyebrow crease. He gently prompted her using "a penny for your thoughts," which successfully encouraged her to share what was occupying her mind, the potential new job role.
Exactly. It wasn't an interrogation, but a kind invitation to share, which Mia accepted. It shows the warmth and effectiveness of the phrase. So listeners, when might you offer someone a penny for your thoughts? Or when have you appreciated someone asking you? Let us know your experiences.
Let's move on now to an idiom that describes a frustrating situation, having to start over. Our third expression is back to square one. Emma, what does this phrase signify? It sounds like landing on the wrong square in a board game.
That's a very good analogy, Jack, as its origin is often linked to board games like Snakes and Ladders, where landing on a certain square sends you right back to the start. Back to square one means you have to return to the very beginning of a process, plan, or activity, usually because your previous attempt failed completely or something went wrong, invalidating all the progress you thought you had made. You have to discard your previous work and start all over again.
Ah, the feeling of wasted effort. So if you spent weeks writing a detailed proposal, but then the client completely changed the requirements, making your entire proposal irrelevant, you might sigh and say, "Well, this is frustrating. We're completely back to square one. All that previous work is now useless for the new requirements."
Precisely. Or imagine baking a complicated cake. You carefully follow all the steps, mix the ingredients, put it in the oven, and then you realize you completely forgot to add the sugar. There's no way to fix it. You have to throw the mixture away and start again from the very beginning. You're back to square one.
It definitely highlights a significant setback and the need for a complete restart. Let's listen to Mia and Mark. What plan or project of theirs has gone wrong, forcing them to start over?
Mark, remember how excited we were about planning our big anniversary trip next year? We spent all last weekend researching destinations, comparing flight prices, finding that perfect little hotel in Tuscany.
Of course I remember. It took us hours, but we finally had it all mapped out. The dates, the flights we wanted, that gorgeous hotel with the amazing reviews, even a list of towns we wanted to visit nearby. I thought we had the perfect plan ready to book this week.
Well, we did have the perfect plan, but I just went onto the airline website to check the flight prices again before booking. And the price for those exact flights has nearly doubled since Sunday. It's way over our budget now.
Doubled? Are you serious? How can it go up that much in just 2 days? That's unbelievable. So those flights are completely out of the question now?
I'm afraid so. And I checked other airlines for similar times, and they're all just as expensive now for those specific dates we wanted. And that perfect little hotel, I double-checked, and it seems it's now fully booked for our preferred week anyway. Someone must have booked it yesterday.
So the flights we chose are too expensive and the hotel we loved is now unavailable? Does that mean...
Yep. It means our entire carefully crafted Tuscany plan is ruined. The core components, flights and accommodation, are gone. We basically have to start thinking about dates and destinations all over again. We are completely back to square one.
Oh no, all that research down the drain. Back to square one. That is incredibly frustrating. Right, well, I guess we need to get the travel brochures out again tonight then.
Oh, that is frustrating. You could hear their disappointment. They had invested significant time and effort, all last weekend, hours, into creating a detailed plan, only to find out that crucial elements, flights, hotel, were no longer viable.
Exactly. Mia's conclusion, "We are completely back to square one," perfectly captures the situation. Their previous progress is invalidated, and they must restart the entire planning process from the beginning. So, listeners of Idiom Insights, can you recall a time when you felt you were back to square one? What caused the setback? Share your experiences, if you're willing, in the comments below.
And that brings us to our fourth and final idiom for this episode, one that describes a state of intense overactivity, burning the candle at both ends. Jack, this sounds like using something up twice as fast and potentially dangerously.
That's exactly the idea, Emma. Burning the candle at both ends means working or staying active from very early in the morning until very late at night, essentially trying to do too much and exhausting yourself. Like a candle burning from both ends, you're using up your energy resources much too quickly, which is unsustainable and likely to lead to burnout or illness. It implies overworking and insufficient rest.
That makes perfect sense. So, if your friend is working a full-time job, studying for a master's degree in the evenings, and trying to maintain a busy social life on weekends, getting very little sleep, you might warn them, you really need to slow down. You're burning the candle at both ends, and you're going to make yourself ill.
Exactly. It's a warning about unsustainable lifestyles. Or if a colleague looks constantly exhausted, arriving early, staying late, and mentioning they were working on reports all weekend, you might comment to another colleague, "Poor Sarah looks shattered. She's definitely been burning the candle at both ends lately with this project deadline."
It highlights extreme overwork and lack of balance. Let's tune in to Mia and Mark one last time. Is one of them describing a lifestyle that sounds incredibly exhausting?
Mark, are you feeling all right? You look absolutely exhausted today. You have dark circles under your eyes and you barely touched your breakfast.
Exhausted is an understatement, Mia. I feel completely drained. This whole week has just been relentless. You know I have that massive project deadline at work on Monday, right?
Yes, the Henderson report. I know it's been stressful. Have you been staying late at the office every night?
Every night until at least 9 p.m. But that's not all. Because I'm so busy at work, I've been getting up at 5 a.m. every morning to go to the gym before work because it's the only time I can fit it in. Then, after getting home late from work, I've been trying to stay up for another hour or two to work on designing that website for my cousin's new business as a favor.
Mark, so let me get this straight. You're waking up at 5 a.m. for the gym, working long hours, including late nights at the office, and then doing extra web design work even later in the evening? How much sleep are you actually getting? 4, maybe 5 hours a night?
Something like that, I suppose. Maybe less on Tuesday. There just aren't enough hours in the day.
Honey, no wonder you look and feel drained. You are seriously burning the candle at both ends. You can't possibly maintain that pace. You're going to completely burn out or get sick before that deadline even arrives. You need to prioritize your rest. Something has to give.
I know, and you're right. Trying to do everything is just leaving me feeling wiped out. Maybe I need to skip the gym for a few days and tell my cousin the website will have to wait until after my work deadline.
Wow, Mark's schedule sounds absolutely brutal. Waking early, working late, and adding extra projects on top. It's a classic case of trying to do far too much.
Exactly. Mia correctly identifies this as burning the candle at both ends and expresses concern about the unsustainability and health risks. It clearly illustrates the meaning of extreme overexertion and lack of rest. So, listeners, do you know anyone who seems to be burning the candle at both ends? Or have you done it yourself? What are the consequences? Share your thoughts on Idiom Insights.
And just like that, another session of idiom exploration draws to a close. We've navigated through 4 very common and relatable English expressions today. Let's quickly recap what we've covered.
We certainly did. Today on Idiom Insights, we discussed, "Your guess is as good as mine," meaning, I don't know any more than you do. A penny for your thoughts, a kind way to ask someone what they are thinking about. Back to square one, having to start over from the very beginning due to failure or setback. Burning the candle at both ends, working excessively hard from early morning to late night, leading to exhaustion.
Fantastic. We genuinely hope that breaking down these phrases, providing examples, and hearing them in our dialogues has helped cement their meaning for you. Remember, understanding idioms is one thing, but using them is the next step.
That's the key. Try to notice them when you listen and read, and don't be hesitant to try using them in your own conversations when the situation fits. And if you found today's episode valuable, we would be incredibly grateful if you could spare a moment to leave a like, a rating, or a review. It really helps support the podcast.
And most importantly, please make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button for Idiom Insights so you don't miss out on future episodes full of linguistic discoveries. We love having you as part of our ever-growing community of language learners.
We truly do. So until next time, keep listening, keep learning, stay curious, and enjoy the continuous adventure that is mastering the English language. Goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone. Take care and keep up the brilliant work.